Yo, what's up guys, Seiishizo here, new Siege video. First video after Christmas, hope you guys had a good Christmas time. Hope you enjoyed, hope you survived eating too much food, because I guess that's what most of us do around this time. Definitely something I did. Got to be working out some more. I'm lazy, I'm too lazy for that. I guess you got to, right? Guess you got to. So, new Siege, this is actually the Siege from last Friday. Yes? No, last Thursday. It was Thursday. But there was a little bit different stuff to it, and that's something I've seen for Siege for a very long time. And I think most guilds, literally like every guild I've been in, pretty much handles it in the wrong way. And the following is, well, not in this fight yet, but this guild had a whole bunch of MSTs, aka Shaina Martina with Triana. But they had that many that they also placed it in net 5 towers. And placing it in net 5 towers, what I see a lot of people do, like really a lot of people, they use net 4 counters in a net 5 tower against Shaina Martina, because it's a net 4 team and you're used to your net 4 counters on that team. So because of that reason, people are tended to do just like their net 4 counters, and then the moment they have to fight the same team in net 4s, because the only guilds that actually put these things in net 5s have too many of them. So they also have them in net 4s, they also have them in net 5s. So the moment you waste all of your net 4 counters, you're gonna have an issue in the actual net 4 towers, whereas if you're a little bit creative in the net 5 towers, there's a whole bunch of options which you can actually do. So let's actually first of all talk about this fight. I already fought this team similar-ish twice. You start getting these teams more and more. A thing to remember if you're fighting these, I got a call for a second. So a thing to remember here while fighting these teams, often they have 100 resistance on all of the units. So keep that in mind. This team actually, I think I had like 40 to 50 accuracy on the Lauren, which made this fight a lot closer than it should have been. You've seen my Lauren be very low HP, you see my friend be like 1 HP for a few times already. I don't push back, I don't land armor breaks, that's pretty annoying. But this team, I would say, is a hard counter to it, but you need that 100 accuracy, mainly on your Lauren. The other two units is not that much of a must, but it helps, especially if your Elucia has some accuracy on the S1 for artifacts, which is also the best artifact thing to give in first place. Also this week, I am planning to make the video of like what artifacts to keep, which is going to be a very difficult video, which I've been postponing for the longest time because it's that difficult of a video. But that is a video I still want to make, and I think it's a very useful video because I think artifacts has been here for like more than a year, but people really still struggle with artifacts. They just farm their whole box full with artifacts, and then they don't upgrade it because they don't know what to keep and what to sell. I got a whole series on artifacts already, but I guess it's a little bit too much, so I have to make it more compact because people have the concentration span of like a potato when it comes to watching videos from time to time. So especially if it's guides, and if it's a guide series of 13 videos, I do kind of understand it's kind of lengthy. Yeah. So I am going to try to actually fit that in. So now, fighting the Shaina Martinas. There are a whole bunch of creative ways where you can actually kill Shaina Martina in a net 5. Sure, Grogan is kind of cheating, not going to lie. But there are, if you're creative with the net 5s you have, oh, isn't that just great to one-shot Shaina Martina like that, without illusion. Okay, this was actually a net 4, so you'd use a net 4 counter, which is pretty simple team. Water, double light. But water, no wait, the other way around. Light, double water. But this thing can actually also work with net 5s. Sure, your net 4 or your light units that you want to use as the tank, most likely still going to be a shaman or a Mali or something like that. Asher kind of works. Maybe if you have an LD5 for light that can take a good amount of hits, then you could use that. But it's not that common. But using two water net 5s is actually very common. So in this case, it's a net 4 tower, so I use net 4s. But let's say you would start using a Praha plus something else. That's very solid for a counter because you just do a lot of damage with your S1 if your Praha is good ruined. and you still have your healings up there. It's just a lot of damage, and then you probably get there. And there's a bunch more water units which can actually get away with it pretty well. For example, a Shiho. Shiho is very good because if you do it right, your Shiho will always have immunity up. The Martina will never focus the Shiho. The Shaina will never focus the Shiho. And the Triana will focus the Shiho, but that's not a big issue because you have your immunity or your invisibility up there anyways. And there's a whole bunch of units that actually are very good. The only issue is, okay, your light tank. Maybe if you have multiple Shazams, then Shazams, no, not Shazam, Shamans. Shazam would also work, I guess. You just have to make it very tanky, 100% resistance and that kind of stuff. And apparently I have 5 fire runes on my Molly, which I just re-runed my Molly to be extra tanky. And I just replied being like the smug I am, saying like, I get more bio procs this way. Right? That's what I did. That's... yes. Yeah, I take Siege very seriously. Yeah, I take Siege still very seriously. No, I'm actually giving you serious advice here. Do not use net 4 counters in a net 5 tower. And this, you kind of know how it works. You just go like fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. Dead. Victory. Easy. This video is too long already. I did 4 fights in 7 minutes. I'm slow. So yeah, something like this. Okay, sure, this is a creative team with an LD5. I get that. I get that. But there are a whole bunch of options where you can actually just semi-cleave this kind of stuff with your normal net 5s you have. Sure, do not go Feng Yang, I don't know what kind of stuff into it. That's not gonna work. Sure, you don't really want to bruiser it. At least not without a light tank double water. You do not want to really bruise it. But you probably have some options which could one-shot something. Or... I actually show 1 or 2 more teams after this as well. So, more Shaina Martina clears. This, for example, is one of those options. And so my Cardinal is very tanky. It is possible that they actually hit one of the other units because there's no light tank. So Cardinal will be hit for sure by the Shaina. It's not going to be 100% hit by the Martina. But this team just has a lot of stuff to it. It's kind of annoying that my Praha's being hit there. But my Praha does a lot of damage. Is that an easy win? Very easy win. Didn't use a single net 4 counter. Let's say if you have to hit 10 Shaina Martinas. If they're both in net 4 and net 5 towers, I can manage. If they're just in net 4 towers, I'm struggling. So maybe it also kind of helps for rune quality. But for me, it's just a lot easier to be creative with net 5s than net 4s. Net 4s is just... You have to build too many dupes of stuff. I don't like that. I'm not building like 3 Vigors, 16 Lulus, I don't know, that kind of stuff. But just be creative. I like to be creative with this kind of stuff. And this just does a lot of damage. Shaina Martina, they're most of the time kind of squish. If they're not squish, they just don't do any damage and then you kill them with this kind of stuff very easily as well. So yeah, just keep in mind, there are a bunch of options. And I think I showcase one more team after this, not 100% sure. I think I fight one more Shaina Martina and then a bunch of other fights because it was end of the siege and we had to hit something else. Yay, another victory. Another Shaina Martina. So this is a team people use a lot in net 5 towers. And actually using the Bolvik is pretty interesting because every time with Amelia you give buffs to yourself, but you also give buffs to the unit that's going to be hit. And they steal stacks from that. While stealing stacks, the Shaman is actually on 100 res. And most Shaina Martinas do tend to have quite some accuracy. Especially because Shaina actually already gives the 25 extra accuracy to the twins. But yeah, if your unit is just simply tanky enough, you can actually get a lot of stacks all the time on your Bolvik, which is pretty funny. That kind of works out. Also, if they hit Amelia, that's really not an issue. I like to switch with Amelia more or less because I want to have the immunity for, or the S2, no wait, S3? No, S2. S2 for cleanse is possible. But yeah, as you can see, you just get a lot of stacks and it's Stack City in a different way. Now, the true Stack City is using Shaina Martina with a Nana. That's true Stack City. I gotta make a video on Stack City. Probably this week I'll record the... let me know if you guys want to actually see that, because the video was kind of lengthy. Maybe I should put more highlights, but let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos on the inter-server, planetarian, interstellar rap battle fights, but then more of a highlight thing and not me beating the same like typical stuff over and over. But I could do that. The only issue is I would have to play no copyright music, because I like to do that on stream, because it takes about like 2 hours, 2.5 hours to clear all of the wings. I think we're playing China server today, or not today, this week. There's going to be a lot of LDs, so that might be kind of fun. Let's see if we can get some creative offenses in there, just spam the same stuff. I don't know. But yeah, as you can see, this is technically you're using the same concept of the counter, which you would use in a net 4 team. But you can apply same concept in a net 5 team, and then it works just as good, as you can see. And sure, you know this is going to take a little bit of time, so let's speed it up. 8 times speed, let's go! Oh, you're just waiting for the Bolvik stacks, and then you win. And then I had to hit some backline defenses, which were a little bit stranger, I would say. But yeah, a lot of these, you see this defense more often. Wouldn't necessarily say it's that great. It can be decent, but main issue is your Carcano is only going to hit the Laika, and it will never kill the Laika. I use S3 there. I know the passive is up, but it's just to remove the passive simply. And that's actually also a way to remove a passive of Triana without losing any HP, because you don't do any damage, but therefore you just proc the passive, but you also don't lose any HP. So not losing any HP on Molong is actually pretty beneficial. And I think this was one of the matches where NFL was like, yo, I'm just proccing 16 million times. But yeah, after this, you kind of know how it goes. Let me speed it up. Video's already kind of lengthy. I think maybe I have one more Shaina Martina team upcoming. I'm not 100% sure. I pre-recorded this, so... But I already hit like, what, 4 or 5 times Shaina Martina? Oh yeah, a bit of other strange defenses. Hitting it with a strange offense. Wouldn't really recommend this too much as an offense. No, not really. Try to push back, but of course that thing is 100 res. Doesn't really help out. Also, I'm not even sure if you silence the Riley, what actually happens. It just doesn't get any totems anymore, right? I'm not sure. Because technically he doesn't have a passive. There's passive stuff happening, but all of the 4 skills that he have are active skills that do something on the side, but does it then count as a passive? I actually have no fucking clue. But yeah, that Thessarian just does too much damage, and then you know what's up. That's just easy clear. Thessarian just 2-shot something with 1 proc, and then, okay, my Savannah was procking like 16 million times. I do really like the skin. And then for a final fight in the same team exactly again. Main thing with this was you just have the tank for everything. So you got 2 wind tanks, which are pretty good. You got a water tank, which is not the best, but I think it's pretty decent with the shield in there as well. Plus it has some heals, plus it has like a bunch of everything. So yeah, you also have the heal from the Feng Yang, you do damage there, you're pretty much full HP. It's just adding up by quite a lot of stuff. The attack buff plus armor break, Perna would one-shot something, even though if it's really tanky. But the odds that he would attack something with armor break and attack buff are very low, because the armor breaks are focused towards the middle, whereas the Perna hits are focused towards the left and right. However, if Perna would to hit Wusa when it's armor broken with an attack buff, Perna's gonna crit, because Perna's always do. You would die. That's Perna. That is Perna. But yeah, fight is slightly lengthy, but you already see this is one of those super safe teams. Can't much go wrong. Moment it did Reckless Assault, you could just trade 1 for 1. Moment the Perna's still alive there, and let's say Mawusa will be dead, Molong will be dead, I would still win this 2v2 fairly easily, because there's too much damage from a Skogul the moment that 1 unit is already dead. And Feng Yang also just does too much damage. So that's a easy win, and we got another 10-10. So that's the second 10-10 of that week. So let's keep up the 10-10s. I must say we were fighting some guilds that were slightly lower ranked than us, but either how, getting 10-10, you still have to focus, you still have to use the good counters, you still can get RNG'd on. And if you use teams that can survive more RNG, you still get 10/10. So guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.